Hello, my name is Ray Youssef. I'm the CEO of No One's App. I'm an immigrant to America from Africa. I was born in Egypt and I went to America for the American dream. And now I'm back here in Africa because this is the new land of limitless opportunity. 10 years ago, I brought the first Bitcoin and cryptocurrency into Africa. And that was an amazing achievement. But I'm not here to educate. I'm not here to save. I'm here to be educated. And it was the Gen Z of Africa. It was the Gen Z of Africa that showed me what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency could actually do for the world. Not as a speculative instrument, but as a means of exchange. So what I want to talk to you guys today about is the most important problem in the world, which is what I call economic apartheid. The biggest problem in Africa is that Africans cannot trade with each other. We all know that free trade creates wealth, but yet Africa is not just one big prison for money. It is 54 separate prisons for money. Africa is the richest continent in the world and some of the poorest people in the world. We have so much money here, we just can't use it, and this is by design. Consider for a moment that Pan-African trade, if you do a Google search, you'll get a number 13%. The real number is much lower than that if you count purely African-owned entities. Yet in Europe, continental European trade is at 70%. In Asia, it's 60%. In America, it's 45%. In Latin America, it's 30%. But yet here in Africa, we do not trade with each other. The question is why? Our banking system here is broken. You cannot send money from one African state to the other. Even our mobile wallets are broken. M-Pesa is in 7 different African countries, but you can't send from any one of those countries to the other. The same thing goes for every other mobile wallet in Africa, including MTN and all of them. What's going on? Is this just incompetence? No, it's not. It is by design. Consider for a moment that when the United States government took control of Binance, the leading cryptocurrency exchange in Africa, the first thing that they did was they disabled Pan-African trade. They didn't disable it in Asia. They didn't disable it in Latin America. They focused specifically on Africa. The question is why? What are they so afraid of? They're afraid of commerce and trade because that is what creates wealth. And it wouldn't just create wealth over the span of 60 years. It would happen within a few years. We would see an immediate change. Consider for a moment how many great leaders we have lost on this continent. 60 of our best and brightest and most pure-hearted leaders and heroes we have lost. From Muammar Gaddafi in Libya to Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana and everyone in between. That's 60 heroes that have gone and passed. They didn't die in their bathtub, they were executed. For the reason they wanted Africans to trade with each other. Muammar Gaddafi wanted to create a Pan-African dinar, a currency for all of Africa. You saw what happened to him. The ECO was an experiment in Western Africa for a regional currency that all of Western Africa could use. France shot it down. This is all by design. And that's why I'm here. We sponsored the first Pan-African Trade Conference just a few days ago. We had delegates from every African country. The message was very well received, especially by the youth. I am here to make sure this message reaches the people and reaches the streets. We're all suffering from taxes now. No time in human history have people all over the world paid more taxes. And no time in human history are people getting poorer and poorer. There is a solution. We could tax our people here 100%, but 100% of nothing is still nothing. My proposal is simple. We build up the economy of Africa, and all we have to do is let the money flow between the states of Africa. The youth of Africa have already begun this work. This is not a pipe dream. The youth of Africa lead the entire world in cryptocurrency adoption, not as a speculative asset, but as a means of exchange. So the work is already happening. All we have to do is allow it to continue. This is why I'm here. And as an African, I say to everyone else in Africa, things can get very good very fast. We don't have to wait for 60 years for things to change. Things can happen within a few short years. History has proven it. The miracle that Kwame Nkrumah worked in Ghana is a great example. That was in 1957. That was over 80 years ago. Imagine what could be done now with our numbers, with our technology, and with the greatest natural resource of all, our young people, who are ready to move forward. So we have to know what winning looks like. It's simple. A united Africa is a dream for many. I am a Pan-Africanist. I would love to see united Africa. No African should need a visa to travel within Africa. And as great as that would be, financial freedom is even more important. Pan-African trade is where everything has to start. America would not be a superpower if you could not send money from New York to New Jersey or from California to Nevada. Why then can't I send money from Kenya to Nigeria or Malawi to South Africa? This is the one thing, the only thing we need to focus on. I respect the people that are standing up for their rights. I respect the government for trying to do the best that they can. But we as the people have to understand that our government is under extreme pressures. It was the president of this country, William Ruto himself, that got up in front of a meeting of all of the heads of Europe and asked a very simple question. Where is this new global financial architecture that we have been promised? He was honestly and earnestly asking for something. And they all looked at him with a blank face. They had no answers for him because they don't want Africans to have this. This episode gives us an insight into the kinds of conversations and dialogue that our leaders have with the leaders of the West. They're all waiting for this new global financial architecture, but they're certainly not going to get it from the West. They have interests, and their interests are dramatically, dynamically opposed to our interests. We have to accept that. We're not against anyone. We are just for Pan-African trade. We are building a system that we all can use, because economic freedom is a human right. I have a lot of skin in this game. Just about 7 weeks ago, the Egyptian pound, where I was born, lost 60% of its value in a single day. My mother lost half her life savings. Why did that happen? If you listen to the Western media, they'll come out with the same old line. Oh, well, Africans just can't get their stuff together. It's their fault. As if we're supposed to believe that the Egyptians just stopped deciding working one day and the pound crashed? No, it was politically motivated. Whenever we think about Africa, the only image we get from the West is poverty, disease, and corruption. I see something very different. I see the greatest economic opportunity and the greatest turnaround in human history. And it's going to happen right here in Africa. Every investor and venture capitalist in the West is always coming to me and asking me, Ray, how did you start a company of 12 million users and 88 million in revenue without taking a dime of VC funding? And Ray, what's going on in Africa right now? Tell us. We want to get in there. We want to get a piece of that. So the West and the richest people in the West respect our potential. And in fact, the leaders of global financialized capital fear our potential. But yet we do not respect our potential. I respect our potential, brothers and sisters. I know what we can do. So let's do it.